Hey everyone, and thank you so much for clicking on this video. My name is Justin, and as you can see, different surroundings for this one. I've never done this, but I'm actually at my girlfriend's house, and after that game against the LA Kings, after the video I just made on my channel yesterday or a couple days ago, I couldn't help but hop on here. I have no patience. I didn't want to wait until I'm back at home and could do this in my usual setup. So kind of playing it by ear on this one. It's really funny, actually, the inhale, exhale signs behind me, reminding us all to try to take a breath here. That's, too encouraging right now. I'm fed up and I'm frustrated and I can't help it. And this team, after another loss to a team that didn't make the playoffs last year, granted, they're a much better team this year. The LA Kings are, I think, an underrated team, only on the up. Got lots of young players as well that are still yet to make their NHL breakout, but it's unacceptable. It's unacceptable. And again, it's not a matter of the fact that they lost. It's how they did it. The Toronto Maple Leafs were awful. Once again, they were brutal. So now the Leafs stand at 4-1, officially at 500, below 500 if you really think about it. And I had some mixed reactions to my last video saying that it's starting to get to time where decisions need to be made here and changes need to come. Some people agreed with me. Others thought that, it's still early in the season and this is a harsh reaction. And again, I am the kind of person that's always looking to be optimistic for the Toronto Maple Leafs. I always, in conversations with my friends, in videos that I post, in my own mind, defend the Leafs to the point that I really shouldn't be. Like, I over-defend this team. Always. This season just feels different right now. This team is not good enough and it's not going to cut it. Tonight's performance is just joining a laundry list of just bad hockey for 9 straight games to start this season. We're over 10% through the NHL season already. So you can't tell me that this is just something that we have to experience at the beginning of the season and that we'll get over. I know that this team is better than how they're playing. I know that it's bound to turn around, but what we're seeing is extremely concerning. And in one of my replies in my last video, I did make the point that what we're seeing right now is the Leafs' potential. And it's not the potential that you usually refer to as potential in a good way. It's the potential of how bad the Toronto Maple Leafs can be in a 9-game stretch. Obviously, we know that the playoffs are a maximum of 7 games in a series. So now we've had a sample size of 9 straight where if this is the kind of performance that they bring in a 9-game stretch, they're screwed. They have no chance whatsoever of winning a playoff round if this were to keep up. And so we're seeing glaring holes, glaring issues with this team that need to be addressed. And you can think that, yeah, this is just a slump and it's bound to turn around. But what we're seeing right now is, again, serious critical issues that if we don't address now, will just come back to haunt us when it matters the most. And I am convinced that that is the fact. And I get that, we've got a couple key injuries, especially on the back end. Matt Murray, who is supposed to be our starting goalie, is out, even though Ilya Samsonov has done just as good of a job in the net. So that's not even a factor. You've got Jake Muzzin and Timothy Liljegren that are out, but Liljegren's a young guy that hasn't even fully established himself as a top 4 defenseman in this league. And Jake Muzzin, when he's in the lineup, gets reamed out every night regardless for his play. So neither of those guys being out of the lineup should be any sort of consideration. And in the forward group, everybody's healthy. Everybody's in. So this isn't a matter of a team that's facing injuries, that is, getting the bad end of the stick. They're creating their own issues. And it's time that we fix it. It's time that we take a serious look and do something about it. And I don't think that there's much more of a leash here for either the players or the coaching staff. There can't be a leash. There cannot be any sort of way that you're sending the message into this team's head that we're going to tolerate this. We can't. It's one season, sure. It's 9 games, sure. But this team has not achieved anything for 6 straight years. They've broken records in the regular season. They've made the playoffs, and they've lost in the first round all the same, time after time after time. And those are after seeing a team that, again, is very strong in the regular season, shows its potential, can play up to this monster of a team, and then just fails when it matters the most. But right now, what we're seeing is a team that can't even perform against teams that don't make the playoffs. The same story from last year, continuing to this season, and we've had a 9-game stretch where they haven't had a single good game. A single good game. They've had wins, no good games. Their best game was against Winnipeg. They performed well. They got chippy when it mattered. They stood up for each other. Far from perfect. Absolutely far from perfect. And what did we see tonight against the LA Kings? A team that can't get the puck out of their own zone. Turnovers like nothing else. What we see from the coach is that there's no repercussions for those because the players that turn the puck over time and time again do not get benched. There are no changes in the roster for that. And how many meaningful shifts were there in the offensive zone tonight? Probably can count them on one hand. And one of those is in the last 3 minutes of the game when you pulled your goalie. How many penalties did we take for stupid, careless stick plays? They were all stick infractions because this team is just sloppy. They come off of turnovers because we just hand the puck to the other team. And again, how many zone times did we have the puck in LA's zone? We didn't do it enough. For a team that's supposed to be an offensive juggernaut, they sure can't generate anything right now. And I'm not talking about getting the puck in the net. I'm talking about getting the puck in the zone. And what bothers me the most out of all of this is that the Leafs know the situation. They know that they're underperforming. They know that the media and the fans and maybe even management are getting tired and demanding better hockey. They know the situation right now, and this is the best they can do. So let's say it's the playoffs, and they're facing the scrutiny of, again, this team, has had failures in the playoffs all this time. Can they get over the hump? And everybody keeps talking about that killer instinct. Does this team have a killer instinct? And in the playoffs, they've shown that they don't. Well, we're seeing it again here. And you might think that's ridiculous to say because we're 9 games into the regular season. But again, they know the landscape. They know they're being scrutinized. They know they're not performing to their best. And they know that each game here on out should be risking their jobs. It should be risking Sheldon Keefe's job. They should be risking Kyle Dubas's job. And they should be risking any one of these players being traded on any given night with how they're playing. And they continue to come out and make performances like that. It's embarrassing and it's not acceptable. I can't believe that, again, this is the story. And last year, I get it. Last year, they started in a similar situation, 2-4-1, but they turned it around quickly. And ever since then, they didn't look back. Well, this is a longer stretch, and there has been zero signs, anything to show me that this team is about to turn it around. Other than the fact that historically, and based on the roster, we know they're a talented team. But nothing they've done has shown it. Nothing at all has given me any sort of faith or optimism that this team is about to turn it around. I know that they will. And I know that they are set for an offensive explosion. I know that Austin Matthews will still compete for the Rocket Richard and he'll light the league up. But nothing of what they've done is acceptable to this point. Again, the turnovers, it's ridiculous. I mean, you can't get the puck out of the zone. In the neutral zone, your sloppy passes. Every single player on this team seems to be fumbling the puck for no reason. It seems like they've lost all puck control. They don't know how to play hockey right now. They're invisible. William Nylander did nothing tonight. Absolutely nothing. He started the season well and was invisible tonight. Matthews and Marner tried a little bit. How much offensive zone time did they have? Very, very little. You're paying these 4 guys in the offensive group millions and millions and millions. 50% of the salary cap is for these 4 guys. And what do they bring to your team? Offense. They are known for offense. You sign them for offense. And they can't even not just generate a goal. They can't generate zone time. You can't look at me and say that isn't concerning. We're 9 games into the season. You look around the league and every other star player is putting up points. The Leafs cannot do it. When's the last time the Leafs have had more than 3 or 4 goals in a game? Guys, this team is supposed to be an offensive juggernaut, and they can't do it. And then on the defensive end, it's just brutal. And my defense for them in my head here is that 2 of their top 6 are out, so that's difficult. But Justin Holl cannot be in this lineup anymore. He cannot be in this lineup anymore, except you can't take him out until you replace him with another right-handed shot, until you replace him with another guy that can play on the penalty kill. And if we don't have in our system, get one. I don't care. There are no excuses. Kyle Dubas, I am looking at you. Get one. Sheldon Keefe in his last game, after last game, in the press, said that this team's defense has not been able to get the puck out of the zone and get it to the forwards well enough. And as a follow-up question, the reporter asked, will you switch up the defensive pairings to help you? And Sheldon Keefe straight up said that wouldn't help. He's blaming the personnel. He is saying that the players on our defensive end are not good enough. So get them. Make a change. And we cannot sit on our hands here and wait for this to turn around. Make action. Do something about it. Hold players accountable. If it means trading a forward to get a defense, so be it. The forwards have done nothing to tell me that they've been, doing a good enough job and that this is the defensive role to blame. Not whatsoever. And even the forwards, like I said, they're not scoring. So do something about it. Make a change. Do something to suggest that you're serious about accountability. There's been absolutely no accountability so far this season. We've had some forwards get benched. Michael Bunting got benched. Nick Robertson got benched. Where are the defensive groups that are consistently tossing the puck up the middle or along the boards and not getting it out? Where's the accountability for them? It's time for something to happen. Whether that's Sheldon Keefe making a significant change in the roster, Kyle Dubas going out and making a trade, I don't know, but it's time. We cannot sit here any longer and not do anything. Again, it's not 9 games, it's 6 years. Going on year 7. This team hasn't proved anything whatsoever. The big boys have not played like big boys. The defense has looked absolutely miserable. The only bright spot I've seen is Ilya Samsonov, who going into the season, everybody was shitting on our goalie situation, saying that is where the Leafs' downfall is going to be. Meanwhile, Samsonov is being left out to dry and still keeping them in games. He's the only bright spot on this team from tonight. The only one. That and the fact that, surprisingly, somehow, Trevor Moore and Sean Durzi didn't both get goals. Don't know how that happened. That's the prototypical way of the Leafs operating. So, think I'm going a little bit harsh on the team. So be it. This is how I feel right now. It's not acceptable. And honestly, I said in the last video, 1 or 2 more losses, Sheldon Keefe's gone. Kyle Dubas might be gone. Big trades coming. Don't care. There's no leash for these guys. You can't do it. So, there's my thoughts. How about you? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you tomorrow against Anaheim, another team that is not good. And if they don't win tomorrow, I don't know.